Hello, fabulous superstar Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of June 2025. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. And a limited number of consultations are available with me or with Andy of Wise Ass Astrology over the course of this summer. New dates have just been released of availability. You can learn a lot more and book your reading now. Links are below. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky. And the biggest move this month is Jupiter changing signs. Yes, here we are. Every 12 to 13 months or so, Jupiter will change signs. And moving into a brand new part of the sky carries forward the potential for a magnification of blessings and possibilities into a brand new area of life. And for you, that area of life that is about to be so lit up starting on the 9th of the month, well, this is a part of the sky that has to do with your daily life. Now, whether that is with your work, your daily habits and rituals, your workplace, clients, customers, coworkers, this is abundance, this is healing, this is opportunity. Whether you work in an actual environment and you go out every day, or you work from home or with homes, regardless of the type of work that you have, there's going to be more opportunity and better relationships with the people you interact with regularly. But this can also be really amazing where it comes to your health-related habits and how well you take care of you, getting the right advice that brings the right healing, finding the right combination of medications or slight adjustments to your habits, including your eating habits that reap great reward. Well, that's part of the healing energy that might come rushing in over the course of this larger transit in the year ahead. There will be a Jupiter special horoscope for each sign. Be on the lookout for that. But I'll walk through this journey with you as we go along, month to month here on YouTube, week to week in the superstar space, and more. Now, having said all of that, here's the thing. As much as this energy, as part of this larger journey, will bring blessings, it might not feel like that at first. And that is because you might first need to identify what isn't working. And whatever it is that isn't working is going to feel very obvious. It's going to feel very clear that what isn't working, well, here it is, apparent. And you've just got to figure out what you're going to do with it. And very often with this energy, it can feel like there are closures or outcomes you didn't expect, you don't like, they feel disillusioning or disappointing, and yet they're creating the space you need so that much more can come rushing in the best possible sense. So let's talk about what is happening with that Jupiter. So on the 9th of the month, Jupiter changes signs and moves out of that heart fun part of the sky for you, and that's okay. It'll be back in about 12 years' time here, but now we're going to carry those blessings forward that much more. Whereas over the last year, it was about trusting your heart, believing in yourself, doing what's fun. Now it's about taking that energy forward and living it in your smallest moments as you move through your day and your life. But as soon as Jupiter moves in here, it starts to move into conversations of tension with big players, Saturn and Neptune, specifically the 15th and the 19th respectively. First it's Saturn and then Neptune that gets squares from Jupiter. Because of how close Saturn and Neptune are, it's as if they are being squared at the same time, as if this is a larger transit of tension. It's free floating around this time as we start to approach the middle of the month. It is going to be once the sun changes signs around the 21st, that on the 22nd and 23rd, the sun will connect in tension with first Saturn and Neptune before the sun and Jupiter meet on the 24th. Now, normally when the sun and Jupiter meet, some astrologers like to call that the luckiest day of the year. But this year, a lot of that luck is going to feel like it's negated. And overall, with Saturn, you feel like you can't get what you want. You can't make the gains that you want. But it's really about being honest with yourself about what's worth manifesting and what isn't. And with Neptune, yeah, that can be disappointing, disillusioning, feeling like what you thought would be there isn't, what you thought you wanted isn't doing the trick or isn't satisfying to you in some way. These are some possibilities that could find you at this time. Now, for all that though, it is on the 25th that we have a new moon, and this brings together a tight conjunction of the sun, Jupiter, and the new moon, which magnifies the emotionality of this time. If it was just the sun, Jupiter, and the moon, I would say this is the luckiest new moon of the year. However, we've got those squares of Saturn and Neptune, which means that there is luck, but it's not apparent. And the luck is in the things that aren't working out, because in their leaving, it's creating space for the new and the next to enter. But it isn't apparent right away. You aren't recognizing it right away. The fact that Mars is speaking in harmony with this new moon, I think is telling, I think is hopeful. It is Mars that is moving through a part of the sky for you that has to do with profound change, truth, transformation, regeneration, and also practical wealth as well. And so there's a few ways this energy might play out. So one way this energy might play out, well, it has to do with professionally, right? The work you're actually doing, being able to attract funding, being able to attract wealth, being able to attract commission payments or big contracts that might find you at this time that bring in a flush of money for what it is you do well and what it is that you repeatedly do. These could be some possibilities here. It may not look like what you like. It might not be the exact opportunities you'd hoped for, but it keeps you busy and it keeps you connected to a spirit and an energy of prosperity and meaningful change. But another way, perhaps more important way this could play out is, look, over the course of this month, if any health challenges arise, you figure out how to empower yourself, how to change them from the inside out under the light of that new moon. And as you are empowered, you can experience profound transformations. Now, ultimately, Jupiter in this part of your sky means that you are on a journey towards feeling really good, feeling better than you have in a long time, prioritizing your health and well-being. And this transformative, focused energy of Mars is only going to help you in that regard as well. And so whatever you're transforming and changing, it has the potential to stick and strengthen you very quickly. At the same time, though, if it feels like you may need a procedure of some kind, especially where it comes to eliminating something from your physical self, it's unlikely, but if that should happen, you've got all this cosmic support for having things go in a way that brings protection and positive outcomes as well. So we're walking this journey. It's tense at first, and then the energy opens. It releases by the time we get to the very end of the month. And especially once we get beyond, that's when there's all this energy of hope and possibility that I think is going to give you quite the lift and really quite the joy as well. Now, where it comes to matters of love, you have had Mars dipping in and out of your opposite sign, going all the way back to October of last year. It is Mars that has been moving back and forth between the part of the sky that has to do with your daily life and the part of the sky that has to do with partnerships and one-on-one alliances, including in love as well. And so love has likely gotten a whole lot of your focus. Well, it is going to be in the middle of the month, right around the 17th of the month, that Mars will finally leave your opposite sign. It can make relating to another and one-on-one connections feel easier, softer, smoother, less dramatic, and that can be quite welcome, especially for the Aquarians out there. But on the way there, we actually have a beautiful moment on the 11th of the month, thanks to a full moon. The full moon itself takes place in a friendship part of your sky. And that brings with it connections with other people, joyous events, gatherings. All of that is so hopeful, but you add to it Mars speaking in supreme harmony with that full moon. And it brings this potential and possibility and an awareness of the love available to you that much more apparent and that much more on the surface. But the thing is, whatever might be happening, you do want to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, as they say. And that is because on the 15th of the month, just 4 days after that full moon, we are going to have Mars square your modern ruling planet Uranus. Now that is tricky. I do want to be straightforward. That is a surprise a minute, if not a shock a minute. And because it's Mars in your opposite sign, because this is Mars at the very end of your opposite sign, just before it leaves your opposite sign, there's a sense of culmination here. There's a sense that this turning point moment has been a long time coming. It's been in the works, going all the way back to October, going all the way back to when Mars was just first in shadow, before it even went retro, before it even went direct again after being retro. It is now that there is a breakthrough or a surprise. It might feel uncomfortable. It might feel like a shock or even a jolt to some Aquarians out there, but it is honest. It is real. It is clear. And from there, it frees you to pursue greater love than you've known before in your future ahead. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, I love the energy of the full moon in social situations, with a friend, through a friend, being in the company of others in a way that feels like it connects on a heart level with meaningful friendship. Well, love is able to find you and blossom that much more readily, that much more hopefully as well. But it is going to be just days later that you're going to have a wake-up call of one kind or another. And it could be with someone new that you're meeting, or someone who might already be someone that you have your eye on in some way. Because as we get just days after that full moon, and full moons always bring with them truth, but that jarring quality that we find on the 15th, that is also being accompanied by Jupiter squaring Saturn on the same day. Well, that's reality check energy. That's looking at what the evidence is showing you, but then also somebody taking you by surprise. Now, given where Uranus is, it could be that you learn something about their past that takes you aback, that takes you by surprise. But it could also be that there is somebody from your past who in some way emerges or reemerges, and it doesn't feel comfortable. It might be like the last person you actually want to see. And I'm so sorry to say, but it does happen. But the great thing is, with Jupiter squaring Saturn, you're able to see the wisdom, to have the restraint that you need to understand how to approach a situation with maturity, and where appropriate, take steps to put yourself where it is that you desire to be. You're able to stay connected to reality and stay grounded so that you're seeing things from a balanced perspective. Now, regardless of whether this is someone you want to see, someone you're indifferent to, someone you're not sure about, there is a sense here of awareness and maybe even some measure of uncertainty as well. But regardless of what you choose to do with someone you might be connecting with, new or familiar, ultimately the truth is yours to appreciate, and it leaves you changed in some way. For those of you just starting to date someone, yeah, the lights are going to come on. Everything looks really great. If you're out socializing together with friends, whether it's their friends or yours, and all of that is all well and good. All of that is a beautiful thing. However, where it is that you might be feeling like there is uncertainty, where there are questions, where you've wondered if this is someone you really want to navigate forward with, well, look, you're going to have a moment of truth, and it might take you by surprise, especially around the middle of the month when we get, on the 15th, that Uranus square Mars. That gets you really honest really quickly. Who this person is, how you feel about them, what you're really wanting. Now, I would advise you to be a little bit mindful of this, especially if this is someone who you've seen a side of them, like, maybe if they've got some anger or something. Yeah, some of that might pop up under this sky, but that too is honest. It shows you whom this person is and what you're dealing with, but you just want to make sure you're okay in the process. Outside of that, though, either this is going to be an uncomfortable moment that repels you away from them, or this is going to be an uncomfortable moment that propels you towards them. You see something genuine, something honest, something you didn't expect, and it helps you to feel that much more connected, passionately so, in ways that perhaps you didn't expect. But strive to stay honest with yourself, especially if it is that you start seeing certain red flags or even just pink flags, as they say. If you see warning signs of any kinds, take those seriously, especially if they feel uncharacteristic, and especially if there's someone that you're just getting to know in the early stages. And for those of you in an established bond, the overwhelming majority is going to find you have a lovely time under the light of the full moon. There might be a moment that sort of feels a little bit heated or passionate that takes you by surprise, but it's nothing that the two of you don't navigate through or navigate forward from. However, there is going to be that percent, especially if you have felt for a while that you might not be in the right relationship for you. You're going to get an answer of some kind or another, and it's going to be pretty clear in an instant. It's up to you to trust what it is that you're seeing and to follow it up with action. And that truth might be the truth of what you're really wanting, the truth of what you feel, the truth of what this person is demonstrating to you, what they're showing to you. And it might not be what you expect. Like, it might really be not about them at all, but all about you. Regardless of what your answers are, that clarity, when it comes, actually can be a game changer. And either it'll have you feeling that much more all in, more deeply committed to this person, or it'll have you feeling very clear and in an instant going another way. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. Well, look, I do love that full moon energy on the 11th. That is a part of the sky that your sign has a natural affinity for. It helps you to feel that much more aware and connected to a spirit of friendship and to do social things that help you to feel that much more hopeful and inclined to what it is that helps you to feel supported by others. At the very least, you'll have a lot of fun under the light of that full moon where you're sharing it with other people. However, it is, of course, Jupiter that is the star of the show now, moving into a part of the sky for you that has to do with health and work blessings. That's what it comes down to. And those blessings bring and rush healing energy in. But first, you may need to identify what it is that needs to be healed. Once it is you do identify it, those changes come quick and you're feeling better, whether that's better physically, better on a health level, or just better about how you're living your life day in and day out. It is a place of inspiration, and that inspiration becomes that much more clear now. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month. We choose your membership rate over at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com or thefutureismagical.com. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are below. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.